here from Training Tilt. Welcome to this week's episode of Endurance Coaching Business. Training Tilt's an all-in-one endurance coaching platform where you can prescribe and analyse training, but also look after your business, run your website off it, take payments, and create and share content online. This week's episode is from a podcast I listened to about the founder of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, about automation, apps and devices and things, and the danger of automating too much in your coaching business. Founder, as I said, Howard Schultz. He's not actually the founder. He used to work for Starbucks when they were just selling coffee beans, and he acquired them before they were a cafe and turned it into what it is today. So it made me think of the way coaching apps are going, automation, AI and those sort of things in coaching. And the automation is great, but sometimes going too far can lead to unintended results. So initially it seems great, maybe even invaluable, but can have unintended consequences. So back to the story. When Howard acquired Starbucks, his vision was to create what he called the third place. So not the office, not home, but another place where you can go for a great environment and community, where people know your name. And Howard admits he didn't invent the idea, he just discovered it when he was travelling through Italy and experienced the cafe scene there. Bit of a backstory: more than once Howard has left and then come back to Starbucks to get them through tough times. And recently they've started struggling again with a business model that initially boosted their revenue and their share price, but has now started to cause some difficulties. So Howard thinks it's their mobile app that lets customers order ahead. So you'd think, well, why would that be a problem? Because all of this happened during the pandemic. When they launched the mobile app, revenue soared. They even implemented in the app like an account system where, as a customer of Starbucks, you just load up a bunch of money in there and then you just order as you go, and then it just drains the credit on your account. So that means that Starbucks has constantly got all of this money in there that they can earn interest from. So another benefit of the business model. So you'd think, well, why does Howard think that's a problem? Seems pretty good. Well, if you've ever been to Starbucks, and Howard made me realise this, that I did experience this, that you notice that there's loads of people, loads of drinks stacked up for pre-orders, and then people fly in, they grab their drink, and then they take off again. So they don't experience Howard's third place anymore. They just order in the app, they come in, grab the drink and go. The other thing that's changing a bit is that Starbucks has become a bit of a sugar shop. So if you see those stack of drinks there, most of them look more like a sugary milkshake than they do a coffee. So both of these things seem fine when the economy is firing, people had access to cash and credit, and then business was booming. But now things have recently swung back the other way with the economy, and this combination of people having less disposable income, less access to credit, and the trend towards healthier diets has related into a new difficult period for Starbucks. So what Howard thinks is the real problem is that the third place, his original vision, no longer exists. So customers who use the app have no real connection with the individual stores anymore. No one knows who they are. There's very little one-on-one interaction with the customer and the barista. They order on the app, they come and they grab their drink and then they go. So when times are tough, what do people cut out? Well, they cut out things that they don't have a strong connection with and things that aren't good for them. So why would they pay $8 for a sugary coffee drink when they could make something more healthy at home or get it for cheaper somewhere else? So they don't know anyone at the store anymore. They don't have a deep connection with the store. They might still look forward to a coffee every day, but there's no third place experience that would leave a big hole in their daily life. So Howard highlights that Starbucks automated away the very thing that made them successful without even realizing it. And they may never be able to get that back because it's very hard to unwind the convenience and that automation of people using the app and bring them back to experience the third place. So that's the story. So how does this relate to coaching? Well, in coaching there's a bunch of automation now, slowly creeping into coaching. And I think it's important to think back and think, okay, what's the most important thing about coaching? I don't think it is prescribing, completing and analysing workouts. That's just a very small part. The most important and impactful parts of coaching are the interpersonal interactions between the coach and the client. So building the relationship with the client is what retains them in the long term. Just how Starbucks developed the third place. So training apps and devices can result in more automation and make that coach-client relationship more brittle, less strong. So here's just some examples I thought of. So digital workout comments instead of one-on-one conversations. AI-generated training schedules instead of a collaborative approach with the coach and the client to planning. The obvious one, devices that beep at you when you're running too fast or too slow, and athletes losing the ability to do that by feel. Asynchronous messaging apps instead of one-on-one meetings. Just a few examples. So the difficulty here is that these things are really convenient and they feel good and they save the coach and the athlete a lot of time. And so coaches can coach more clients. But in comparison to much older approaches, they weaken the bond a client has with their coach, or maybe doesn't weaken it necessarily, but doesn't allow it to build up as strong. So it becomes less personal, less sticky, and a lot easier to sever. So just like what happened with Starbucks, if a client needs to cut back on their expenses or just start to feel like they aren't getting enough value out of the relationship due to this lack of connection, then it makes it a lot easier to decide as an athlete to go it alone. And they can continue to leverage the automation of the apps even more than before, but this time without the help of a coach. So this is just a bit of a thought experiment right now. Like you might be thinking, oh no, that wouldn't happen to me, or no, we don't automate away too much. But maybe just it's good to take a step back and just look at the trends and consider whether you might be heading in that direction now, regardless of whether you think you've gotten there yet. So take some time, maybe stand back, zoom out, and consider whether you might be heading down that path where you might be automating too much away. Anyway, hopefully that's interesting to you and something to consider. And let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon.